Hey guys, Suspicious Aussie here, and welcome to episode 39, the end of season review of the 2021 season. As you can see, we did not win the league, unfortunately. We have gone another league without winning. We are second, however. A pretty disappointing 9 points off PSG in the end. We kind of capitulated after the two injuries to both of my right wingers, basically. Campos picked up a 4 month injury, first of all. Obviously, I wasn't too upset about it. I knew it was a loss, but we had Öztürk, the Turkish wonderkid right winger, as backup. And unfortunately, I think 2 or 3 games later, he actually picked up a month injury as well, which obviously meant that both of their seasons were over, and pretty much meant I had to play either a youngster or play Munayin out of position out on the right wing. So as you can see, it did kind of cost us because at that point before Campos picked up his injury, we were actually coming first in the league by 2 points ahead of PSG. So kind of a bit of a disappointing end to the season, considering where I was. Obviously, in the mid-season review, I was actually behind PSG, so I guess some of you will probably think that this is probably where I should end up anyway, considering, the players PSG bought in January as well probably had something to do with it, whereas I didn't actually strengthen the team at all because I thought, I thought we were good enough. So maybe that was a bit of a mistake by me. I'm not too sure. They also had 11 goals advanced, in the goal difference tally, so it's not ideal either. They had plus 62, we had plus 51, so yeah, not ideal. Anyway, let's go through the fixtures now from the mid-season review, which was the FC Metz game, just after the FC Metz game, I think, which was, here. Alright, so next up was Lille at home in the league, and as you can see, we opened scoring, or they opened scoring, sorry, through Augusto. We got one back through Gomez before Ulrich was sent off, and I guess we were pretty much lucky not to lose the game from there on. Origi did get man of the match performance, and I think has he moved on? Yeah, he's actually moved on now, so he does play for Spartak Moscow. Obviously, with Russia's, transfer window being open at a different time, they were able to sign him, which I guess is kind of a good thing for me as well. So yeah, that was that game against Lille. The next game up was the first knockout round of the Champions League, and as you can see, we did lose that game 2-1 to Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna. As you can see, they opened the scoring through Volland, and they also got two up after Henriquez got one right at the end of the first half. We missed a penalty just 5 minutes before them through a Campos, which was disappointing because we would have brought it to 1-1. And then Gomez got us a goal back, but they were too good on the day. And we did get away goal, so I guess that was kind of a positive if you look at it that way. The next game was Chamois in the league. Away from home, we beat them 4-1, which was a pretty impressive result. They're no slouches, Chamois. You wouldn't expect them to be very good, but they actually are half decent, I suppose. Kind of a mid-table team after being promoted a season or two ago, I think. Pereira, as you can see, got a hat-trick. Gomez also got on the score sheet for us, and they had one goal themselves. Next game after that was against Evian TG, and we beat them 5-0 at home, so very convincing. A Campos with a brace, Gomez, Matip, and Munayin as well, with a Campos picking up man of the match performance there. So as you can see, our captain of Campos was playing extremely well for us, and then, in the later games he did pick up his injury, so yeah, he was definitely a big loss this season, as well as, Öztürk, his backup replacement kind of thing. The next game, though, was against SC Bastia in the Coupe de France 11th round, and this game was played at home, and as you can see, we beat them 5-1, which is pretty straightforward. Bastia aren't the best team, and I think they actually got relegated this season. As you can see, Pereira with a brace, a Campos with a brace, and Lopez with one, and again, a 9.4 man of the match rating for a Campos. So, who knows, if he didn't get injured, who knows what would have, come of our season. We could have easily been the champions, I think. I don't want to, go into it too much, but it was disappointing to lose him and also Öztürk. I keep going over it, but I'm a bit of a sore loser. I thought this was the season that we're actually going to win it. Anyway, the next game up was against Toulouse, and we beat them 2-0 away from home Ikemunain and Pereira again finishing his goal scoring form that he picked up towards the Bayern Munich game earlier in the group stage of the Champions League. Öztürk getting man of the match performance for himself there once again, coming from the right-handed side. The next game was against Dortmund in the second leg of the first knockout, and as you can see, we did go out of the competition, drawing 1-1 at home with Dortmund. Henriquez opened the scoring again, getting on the score sheet for Dortmund. Campus got one back, but obviously we were 3-2 down on aggregate towards the end of the game, and Gylfi Sigurdsson played a blinder. So, yeah, disappointing to go out of the Champions League, but I thought to myself, it's not the worst result in the world because now I can focus on the league, and, we can give it a real crack. PSG actually got knocked out of the competition at the exact same time in the first knockout round, which was pretty... I guess it was a little bit, disheartening as well. Anyway, next game up was Sharks Monteb, and we beat them 3-1 at home in the league. As you can see, Gomez opened the scoring. We went 3-1 up through a Campos and Matip as well, before they got one back through Jost, and Gulok Hanger picked up man of the match in that for his performance in that game. Jeez, if I can get my words out, that would be alright. The next game after that, I'm not going too far ahead, was against Stade Rennais. As you can see, we beat them 5-3 in an 8-goal thriller. Gomez picked up a hat-trick for himself. Öztürk also got on the score sheet, as well as Faure. They got goals from Lacadia, Rittia, and Issa Gomez on the 91st minute. Obviously, Gomez picking up man of the match for his 3 goals in that game there. Next game was against Valenciennes, and we beat them 4-1 at home. Pretty straightforward result against a fairly decent Valenciennes team. Ikemunain, Gomez, Öztürk, and Kaya getting on our score sheet, with Öztürk picking up another man of the match performance. The next game up was against, our main league rivals PSG. At this point in time, I think with a win, we would have gone 7 points clear of them, so we were 4 points at this time ahead of them. And as you can see, they destroyed us 4-2. Pretty disappointing. Obviously, Barbosa, the new signing, scored in the 3rd minute. We got back through Matip. We actually went ahead through a Gomez penalty before Yarmolenko scored. And then Pogba scored in the 69th minute, and then Yarmolenko finished us off right at the end. The PSG captain getting a brace for himself in the same time. So pretty disappointing. So that basically gave us a 1-point lead over them at that point, I believe, which was disappointing, obviously. But the next game, we got back to winning ways against Angers SCO and beat them 3-1. Munain, Gomez, and Charles Bassi on the score sheet for us. Next game against Lyon was a pretty disappointing one, I have to admit, and we lost that one 2-1 away from home. Alia Diallo and Mbaye Niang, the AC Milan player, getting Lyon's goals, and Kanga getting our only goal for us. Pretty disappointing to lose, especially after obviously having the 1-point gap over PSG. We did, however, beat PSG in the next game in the Coupe de France quarter-final, 2-1 away from home, which is pretty impressive. Van Eyck obviously got sent off fairly late on into the game. Gomez opened the scoring. Zaha got one back 5 minutes later for them. Van Eyck then gave us the goal-winning lead, and got sent off at the end of the game. So Munain with man of the match performance as well, and they played kind of a second-string team, but still absolute quality in there with Marquinhos, Gostev, Zaha, Pogba, Verratti, Ferreira and Fierro, Barbosa, Otamendi, and Romagnoli coming off the bench. Jesus. You pretty much know why they're so good, because they have absolutely spent a shitload of money. Anyway, we then lost a consecutive league game, this time against Auxerre at home, which was, really, really disheartening. Labidi getting the only goal for Auxerre in that game, and obviously that kind of widened the gap to 4 points for PSG. Wasn't the end of the world, but I was a little bit worried about it. The next game we bounced back against Saint-Etienne, and we beat them 3-2 away from home. Pretty nervous, towards the end of the game. They opened the scoring through Montero, Jefferson Montero, that is. We got one back through Gomez, went 2-1 up through Pereira. They got one back to make it 2-2 through Alexic, and then Kanga got us the winning goal with Pereira coming up with a man of the match performance. The next game after that was the Mess League 1 game at home. 3-0 victory there. Kleber with a very rare goal. Lopez and Grenier, the youngster, coming up with a goal in the 92nd minute, picking up a man of the match performance for him. And I think it was actually his debut, so credit to him for, playing a blinder. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much detail of the Coupe de la Ligue final because most of you would have seen it in the live com, but obviously we lost 3-1 in extra time. Our only goal coming from Pereira, with Sommer giving away an own goal, which basically cost us the game. Next up was Havre Athletic in the second last league game of the season, and as you can see, we lost this game 1-0 away from home. They did score in the 90th minute, which is absolute bullshit, and if I show you the stats, match stats, they didn't really deserve it. We dominated possession, more shots, more on target. We had 2 clear-cut chances, so did they, but, we shouldn't have lost that game, is what I'm trying to say. We didn't deserve to lose it. We didn't really deserve to win it either. Their defender played a pretty outstanding game and actually got man of the match performance for it. So probably the reason why we lost. I wasn't, too worried at that point. I knew if we lost the game, we were pretty much screwed anyway. So in the next game, we actually drew 1-1 at home with Montpellier. Played a bit of a second string team, obviously to keep my guys fresh for the Coupe de France final, which you saw in the previous episode. As you can see, we have been scoring through Morelio Fabiano, the amazing Brazilian player that has come back from Brazil on loan this season, and they got one back in the 86th minute through Saki. And again, if I show you the stats, we didn't deserve to lose this game at all. As you can see, they had 3 shots, 2 on target, one clear-cut chance, and they managed to score through it. We had 24 shots, 10 on target. I mean, 2 clear-cut chances isn't great, but we also had 63% possession. I can't get my words out today. And, 1-1 draw. I mean, obviously we couldn't win the league at this point anyway, so I didn't really give a shit. But I did give quite a few youngsters some game time there. And then, obviously, we had the Coupe de France final, the 3-1 victory over Schalke Monteb, and our third Coupe de France on the trot. So, obviously, own goal got the scoring started, I guess, in the 46th minute of the first half. We then went 2-0 up through Fabiano. Lopez made it 3-0 in the 91st, and then in the 92nd, probably Schalke Monteb's best player, Jabanoon, got one back for a bit of a consolation goal to make the Monteb fans a little bit happier going into the end of the season. So yeah, basically we've qualified automatically for the Champions League again, I guess, which is a bit of a positive. Not really, because I thought this was going to be the season. Marseille obviously finished third, 10 points behind us, and obviously beat us to the Coupe de Ligue Cup. We got Lille in fourth, and AS Saint-Etienne dropped off a bit towards the end of the season, coming fifth, despite challenging Marseille for most of the season. Obviously, Schalke Monteb will be in the Europa League next season, which is good for them. But they did finish 13 this season. Down the bottom, we have Havre Athletic, Montpellier, and Evian, who are all relegated. So, a little bit disheartening for Montpellier, I guess. They're probably a much better club than that suggests. So, yeah. If we have a look at the profile, as you can see, PSG's dominance continues once again. Really disappointing there. As you can see, the top goal scorers of the league this year, we did have Horatio Gomez in third with 22 goals behind Carlos Fierro of PSG and Cisse of FC Lorient, who actually became the top goal scorer despite being a fairly poor player. He's not very good, so don't really know how he topped it. But as you can see, I mean, this is evidence enough. Lucas Ocampos, highest average rating in the league, and on a 7.56 actually. And, if we had him fit the whole season, who knows what would have happened. Behind him is Gulo Kanga with a 7.5 match rating in the league, which is very good, but, kind of expected for Kanga. And then we have Yarmolenko behind him who, scored that brace and basically screwed us over from, drawing with PSG in that all-important league game towards the end of the season. As you can see, Kanga also got 14 assists for the season. Douglas Costa of Marseille with 14 as well. And then at the bottom in 4th place we have Ikem Munayin, who got 13 for us. So pretty good assists from Kanga and Munayin. And obviously Campos came up with, I think it was something like 15 goals in the league. Let me have a look here. Oh, he got 13 goals in the league, so that's pretty good, with 8 assists as well. Only playing 18 games, obviously, with that injury. And as you can see, it's kind of, decreasing all of his stats as well, which I'm really upset about. So, yeah. If I'm going to jump into the player performances now, we'll go by average rating, of course. So, there we have Campos, Kanga, Grenier with the 3 games he played, scored 1 goal, which is pretty good, 7.53. Got the exact same rating as Pereira, who, came into this season. I wasn't really sure if I was going to play him. We signed Munayin, but he did play. And he ended up playing 23 games this season, 3 off the bench, 13 goals, and, yeah, as I mentioned, a 7.53. Ikem Munayin just in behind with 43 games played, 19 goals, 7.52. Erstaprak a little bit further down with 30 games played, 5 off the bench, 10 goals, 7.43, very impressive. Horacio Gomez, 41 games played, 3 off the bench, 31 goals in all competitions, which is very good, and a 7.35. Matip, as always, absolute rock in defence, 47 games played, 8 goals, and a 7.3 match rating, average rating I should say. Benjamin Adams played 2, 3 off the bench, 1 goal, 7.28, played very well. Foray, again, very good season by my 2 centre-backs, 41 games played, 3 goals, 7.26. Hashi had a much better season than he has previously. 15 games played, started, 9 sub-appearances, 7.22. Fabiano, breakthrough season, coming to the club from Barcelona. Went out on loan in Brazil. Where'd he go? Was it Atletico Mineiro? I think it was. Atletico Mineiro. Played very well this season, especially in the cup competitions. Not too well in the league. 21 starts, 4 sub-appearances, 2 goals, a 7.20 match rating. And then a little bit further down, we've got players like Van Eyck on a 7.15, Sommer on a 7.14, Ignacio Lopez on a 7.13, scoring 13 goals for the season, and Jon Francois, who got a 7.11 for the season. A little bit further down, we've got a couple of other players I'm not going to mention. Ulrich didn't have an amazing season, neither did Bender, but very good first season for him, I guess. And he was quite solid, to be fair, despite not picking up those amazing average ratings. Same with Ulrich. Kind of played between deep line playmaker and being the ball winner, filling in for Bender when he could. So yeah, that basically wraps up the end of season review. I have obviously got 3 transfers coming into the club. I mentioned in the previous episode Arthur, I don't know if it's Arthur or Arthur Clement from Shox Monteb. He was their captain. Very good player, very similar mould to Campos actually. He's 21, so he's very good. Good long shots, composure, off the ball. You can see why he's the captain as well with 17 leadership. Lacking acceleration, but he's got the pace and the strength, and obviously the crossing and the dribbling to be a very, very good left winger. I'm not too sure if he's going to get any game time next season, simply because of this player, Lamperu, the Greek wonder kid who is going to turn into an absolute world beater. As you can see, again, in the same sort of mould as a Campos, except probably better than a Campos, saying that. He's got the pace, got the acceleration, the strength, the jumping, 190 centimetres, is an absolute physical specimen at 19 years old. Got him on a free transfer, a Bosman, so he can also play as the AMC as well if we need that, but I think the left wing is going to absolutely be, his starting position for the future. I'll probably get a player to tutor him if I can when he first comes to the club, just to aid his development a little bit more. But I mean, 17, 18, 18, 13 finishing, 15 technique, 18 determination, creativity, composure. He's got everything. He well and truly has everything. To get him on a free transfer is probably one of the best pieces of business I think I've ever done on the Football Manager game, to be honest. So very, very good pickup from Olympiacos there. And the final player I've got set to join the club next season is Takuya Okubo from Japan. is obviously coming from that club that I don't think is the right name for the club, obviously without having the Japanese licenses. So 17-year-old Japanese right back, fairly decent, I guess. 19 determination, got pace, lacking, I guess, in strength and going forward. I guess is probably his weakest points, but he's fairly decent defensively, and Japanese regens can turn very, very good in the future. So took a bit of a punt, only 500,000 for him. So no stretch of our £60 million transfer budget. So that's basically it for this, guys. The only outs I'm thinking of actually getting rid of, obviously I'm going to get rid of a few of the shitter, players that are never going to ever play for the club. Players like Kenneth Jensen here. I'm trying to sell him, but he had to go out on loan. I think his contract retires. But I am going to look to get rid of some of the deadwood. I'm also thinking about letting Matinho go. I wanted to make him a club captain and continue to use him as a player mentor, but he's kind of been complaining about leaving the club recently, and he's actually been asked to put on the transfer list, so I think I might either terminate his contract if I cannot sell him off, unless, he decides to become happy with me for some reason. Ocampos is also actually unhappy because I did promise him the league title this season, which was my reasoning for turning PSG down when they offered me 42 million for him. Obviously, if he stayed fit, we probably would have won the league, so it's a bit ironic that he's upset for us not winning the league. So yeah, that is basically it. If you've enjoyed this episode, guys, please give the video a like. Head over to my channel and subscribe as well if you are not a subscriber, and I will see you next season in the preseason episode where I will go over my transfers and obviously the preseason fixtures. Goodbye, guys.